Saucy Porka is a Latin Asian fusion restaurant here in Hyde Park. We also have a location in downtown Chicago, and we just opened our third location in St. Louis, Missouri. We were creating it. I wanted a name that was really going to be representative of our brand and our food. So porka is actually not, a lot of people misconstrue it as like being pork, but it's not. It is a Latin slang for a woman with a lot of attitude. And we wanted to do saucy in the sense that all of our meats were braised in different marinades and sauces for 3 to 4 hours, and it was more of a cooking technique. All of our apps, everything, all of our sauces are house made here. So it has this double meaning of saucy as in attitude, but also saucy in the style, technique, and the food. You have Koreatown, that's always right next to some Latin, like little village or whatever, that has strong Latin influences. And so the neighborhoods have always been right next to each other, and now you're starting to see them kind of blend in together. For any business, whether it's a restaurant or anybody that's looking to become an entrepreneur, is figure out what your product is and then sell that thing. Like figure out how you're gonna sell it. I remember when I first started, I didn't have a restaurant. I was like, oh, I'll go cater your baby shower. And my friends were like, okay, I'll pay you to do this. And that's how I got my start, was that like you sell your first item, you test it to see if people enjoy it and like it, whether it's to friends and family, whether it's a farmer's market. See if you can actually do this. Can you actually sell a product? Do something as simple as basic as that. And once you get that feedback, you can say to yourself, this might actually work. I could do something more with this. I can do a brick and mortar store. But that's where I always tell people to begin. See if you can actually sell a product. My go-to was look at the market. Look at all the businesses in your community, in your neighborhood, and figure out how people are pricing things out. But then you need to then figure out your cost of goods. How much is it going to cost me to make this to make a profit? And there's always these general guidelines of, food costs should be under 30%. Payroll should be under 15 to 25%. So these are the kind of measures that I've always knew in the industry, but it's not always doable. Because at the same time, like I said, you have to look at the neighborhoods you're in, the area you're in, and be able to understand like where you're going to fall into pricing. So market research and understanding how your menu, it's also about trying to make money, but also understanding the area that you're in. That's like the $1 million question. There's a lot. There's a lot that I did not know then that I know now. Everything from sourcing your food, negotiations, being able to negotiate and lever different pricing. Because when you get into this business, you think, oh, this is just like you buy this and this is what they're offering, this is what you pay for. But there's an art form of like being able to leverage, and as my coworkers or my staff always say, Amy's gonna be boss now. Because you go in and you say, listen, like I really want to work with you, I want this partnership or whatever it is, but you're costing at so much. And it's doing your homework and understanding how to negotiate certain deals, whether it be with vendors for food or repairs or whatever it is, that you don't ever have to take anything at face value. And like, it sounds like such a basic thing when you first get into this business, because I just thought like, oh, this is just how it is. But you realize like, no, you can negotiate better rates for different, like I said, produce, vendors, repairs, everything there is. You always are going to look for how you can better improve your business, your profit margins, etc. And don't ever take no for an answer. That is the one thing the biggest takeaway I've taken, is that even when I was looking at spaces and people told me, no, you're not going to be able to get the space. And then I said, okay, well, let's go back and let's negotiate with them and see what we can offer. So you never ever take no for an answer. And I always say, it never hurts to ask.